When someone cuts you off in traffic, you think they're a bad person. When you cut someone off, you had a reason. That double standard isn't hypocrisy. It's how every human brain is wired. Someone's late to the meeting. Your immediate interpretation, disorganized, disrespectful, doesn't value other people's time. That same week, you're late to a meeting. Your internal explanation, traffic, an urgent email, circumstances entirely outside your control. Someone loses their job. Your assumption, they must have been underperforming or difficult or unreliable. When you've been in a hard job situation, it was the management, the company culture, a terrible boss. This isn't selective memory. This isn't motivated reasoning. This is a systematic cognitive error that almost every human being makes almost every day, and it's quietly damaging every relationship, every institution, and every judgment call you make. The fundamental attribution error, FAE, is the tendency to overemphasize dispositional or character-based explanations for other people's behavior and to underemphasize situational explanations. Put simply, when others do something wrong or strange, we blame who they are. When we do something wrong or strange, we blame what happened to us. The term was coined by psychologist Lee Ross in 1977, who called it fundamental because it underlies so many other social judgments. It's also called correspondence bias, the bias to assume that behavior corresponds directly to personality, even when situational forces are obviously present. Jones and Harris demonstrated a related phenomenon in 1967. Participants watched debaters argue either for or against Fidel Castro. In one condition, participants were told the debaters had chosen their position. In another, they were told the position was randomly assigned, meaning the debater might personally believe the opposite of what they were arguing. Even when participants knew the debater had been assigned their position, they still rated the debater's personal beliefs as matching the position they argued. Knowing the situational constraint didn't stop the dispositional attribution. Ross extended this in a study where students played the role of quiz, show questioner, or contestant. The questioner asked questions from their own personal knowledge, giving them an enormous structural advantage. Contestants almost always looked worse in comparison. Afterward, observers rated the questioners as significantly smarter than the contestants, even when they knew the roles had been randomly assigned and the questioners had controlled the topic. The structure of the situation was obvious. The outcome was known. It still didn't stop people from drawing personality conclusions. In professional settings, the FAE is devastating. When a colleague underperforms, managers attribute it to laziness, attitude, or incompetence, when the situational explanation might be unclear expectations, under-resourcing, a personal crisis, or a workflow problem that the system created. This matters because the solutions are completely different. If the problem is character, the solution is to replace the person. If the problem is situation, the solution is to change the conditions. Misidentifying cause leads to the wrong intervention and the same problem recurring with the next person in the role. In personal relationships, the FAE creates an asymmetric empathy problem. You extend enormous contextual grace to your own failures. I've been under a lot of pressure, and almost none to the failures of others. Over time, this erodes relationships because people who are consistently judged harshly, without contextual consideration, feel unseen and eventually withdraw. The irony is that the FAE often flips for people we know well. With close friends, we're often better at generating situational explanations. She must be going through something because we have more context for them. The error is sharpest with strangers, acquaintances, and people we disagree with. The antidote to the FAE is deliberately generating situational explanations before settling on dispositional ones. Before concluding that someone is lazy, difficult, or rude, pause and ask, what circumstances could be producing this behavior in a person who isn't fundamentally flawed? This isn't about being naively charitable. It's about being accurate. The FAE is an error. It leads to wrong conclusions. Generating situational explanations first is not kindness, it's epistemic hygiene. A useful question. Would I interpret this behavior differently if I knew this person was under significant stress or dealing with something I couldn't see? If yes, that gap between how you'd interpret it with that knowledge and without it, that gap is the attribution error in action. The people you've judged most harshly are almost certainly more complicated than the story you've built around them. Not because behavior doesn't matter, it does, but because you've been applying a different explanatory framework to them than to yourself, and the framework you've applied consistently underestimates the role of what they are dealing with. Correcting that error doesn't make you a pushover. It makes your judgments more accurate and your relationships, almost without exception, better. Drop a comment. Has there been a time when you judged someone harshly, then later found out the situational explanation, and it completely changed how you saw them? I want to know. Subscribe for more psychology that's actually useful.